What is going on? You are listening to episode 267 of the Nintendo Powercast. I'm your host, N64 Josh. Player 2 is coming at us. What's up, Crawler?
Hey, how's it going? It's Crawl coming at you.
That's right.
Apparently that's what CJ says. I didn't realize that. But CJ's coming at you too. I saw that in Discord and they were tagging me in it.
He's a streamer too. That guy, CJ. He's like, I love when he takes all the pictures really fast. I'm like, oh, he's adorable. He's adorable. We also got player 3 back again, Super Nintendo. What's up, buddy?
What's going on? How are you?
I'm good. Do you have a catchphrase yet? Like,
do I have a No, I don't need a catchphrase. I speak for myself. You know.
Hello? Is this thing on?
Hello?
That's his catchphrase.
Yeah. Is that what they are?
Yeah. There you go. All right, guys. Well, hey, that music you just heard is from On Being Human. Check them out on Spotify and YouTube. I know I say that every week, but seriously, go check them out. They're friends of mine. I love those guys. On Being Human. This is an unofficial Nintendo podcast, and if you'd like to get yourself a free book from Audible, my book for free, n64josh.com/audible. If you want to get any other book for free, audibletrial.com/NPC. It's up to you. You can decide, okay? That's just the way the links work. I can't help it. Okay. You can also get my book free that way also, but use my other link for that. The chair I'm sitting in, the chair Crawler is sitting in, and the chair Super Nintendo needs to be sitting in are from OP Seat. And if you go to n64josh.com/OP Seat, you will automatically save $10 at checkout. They've also got free shipping. And I haven't checked to see what their sales are right now, but they may still be $20 off. So, and I've been getting emails from a lot of you guys saying you guys are picking them up.
We can't see Super Nintendo this week, but last week he was in a broken chair, down like a kid at the kids' table.
It stopped going up, but in order to get it replaced, I need to take it apart and send it back to them, and then they'll send me back a new one. But I don't have a box big enough I don't just hang out with boxes, except for the ones Josh sent me last week. But
in Animal Crossing.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't know why. For some reason, sometimes my camera just doesn't turn on, and then I usually restart the computer and then it'll work. But I did that today, and no, it's no go. No go.
It's sad. At least we get to see your beautiful little avatar there, so that's good.
Yeah, the old little icon.
Yeah. It's good. Guys, if you want to get a paperback copy of my book, Another Castle, n64josh.com/anothercastle. That's it for that. We're going to go to the announcements now. Here we go.
Hey, listen.
I am still looking for writers for n64josh.com. We are trying to make this a legit Nintendo news site. If you guys are interested in writing, hit me up in the Discord, n64josh.com/discord. If you're watching this on YouTube, make sure to hit that subscribe button. If you're not watching any content on YouTube, please head on over there and subscribe, youtube.com/n64josh. And check out some of the Animal Crossing videos. I've been putting out a lot, showcasing my island, showcasing my camping area, my boardwalk, my club/restaurant/cafe. That's 3 stories, which I'm having a ton of fun with. The DJ's at the very top. And so it's I've been having way too much fun with this game. Absolutely loving it. But yeah, go check out the YouTube stuff. I'd really appreciate that. Other announcements, get into pick your team in Splatoon. We did a community Splatoon day on Saturday, and it was a ton of fun. We played for quite a while. We played in the Splatfest arenas, which was great that those are now available to us. And I'm really looking forward to playing this game more. It was a good time. So with that, we're gonna get on over to our game tips. All right, I'm gonna go with Animal Crossing. And I'm going to talk, I put out a video today about customizing things because I get questions a lot like, where did you get that bench? Right? So the answer is it's a DIY, but then I customized it. And I don't think everybody realizes how much can be customized in this game. Not everything, but certain things. A lot of DIYs can be customized. But for instance, the Switch that you're given when the game starts, you can turn it into gray Joy-Cons if you want by taking it to the table. But I have a feeling most people have left that Switch in their house and have never taken it out. and I happened to take mine out to throw it on the tables at the club that I made, the diner, whatever, and was like, I wonder, it happened to be in my pocket when I went to customize something, and I was like, this can be customized. So do that. The other tip is go and talk to Sable every day. Talk to her, get the patterns. I got pizza pattern from her. So now I can make a beach towel that has pizza slices with cheese melting all over it. So I was pretty stoked about that. So utilize customizing. You can really add so much character to your island and really make it your own by customizing things to the themes that or the colors, and the decor, whatever that you prefer. So Pitt in chat says, yeah, dude, amen. I love it when something can be customized. Same here. I had a hula doll from Gulliver, and I could customize that. I was kind of surprised by it. You could change the screen of the laptops. You can change the magazines out. You can put custom designs on some of these things if you want to. So keep that in mind. There's a lot there. Crawler,
Fun fact. I drug my feet so much talking to Tom Nook and actually bringing him the wardrobe or whatever that you're supposed to bring, that I didn't even know you could, like, I knew you could customize, but I didn't know how you did it. And I was like, one day I was like, I should probably actually take that out of my bedroom and take it down to resident services. That's when you get the customization kit, which I hadn't even done for like the longest time.
Wow. No, that's good to know, because there may be people in that same boat. So that's good. So,
and now my son just bothers me because he sees you do it and he's like, I want to customize stuff, and I'm like, all right, maybe this weekend. We didn't do it, but like I'm not like that. I don't know if like this game is gonna have the legs for me to like customize stuff how I want to, just because of the time commitment and some of the stuff that you have to put into doing it. But I don't know, we'll see.
And it would be nice if you could go from right from crafting. When you craft, you pick the color you want and just uses all the materials. Mm-hmm. That would be amazing, But instead, you have to go all the way out of crafting, then start the conversation again.
We're starting the rant. We're starting the rant again.
Exactly.
I mean, every night I go and like buy stuff at Able Sisters, and it's just so annoying to buy all the colors of stuff. If you buy one thing, you should be able to customize it to all the colors and just have access. It's just, there's quality of life stuff though. It could be so much better. I don't even mind spending the bells. Just let me buy it all in one fell swoop. But
yeah, I get you there for sure. So I see Splatoon 2 in the game tips. You got something?
Oh, I forgot. I thought this was what we were playing. Splatoon 2.
Motion controls. Talk about that.
Yeah, I mean, so
turn them off.
No, don't turn them off. So that was my first. So that was my very first thing back when. I think Splatoon 2 was like the third or fourth game I bought for my Switch when I got it, because I bought my Switch release day of Mario Odyssey. So I was a few months late into getting the Switch, but all these games had kind of been trickling out over the course of that first year. And I'd seen lots of stuff about Splatoon 2, and first thing as an old-time shooter fan playing Halo and that kind of stuff, I turned off motion controls. So I was like, I'm a dual stick kind of shooter player, and that's how I'm going to play it. And this game, I watched some YouTube videos, I watched people talk about it, and it takes some getting used to. It's hard to initially play that way. It's a little bit easier, I guess, if you come from PC and you're used to mouse and keyboard, because it's kind of similar in that aspect that you have the quick control and the flick of the controller to kind of get it to where you want it to be. But if you stick with the motion controls, it allows you to, especially in like Turf War or other game modes where you need to get paint on the ground to be able to either swim away or flank or just move from one aspect up to shooting a character, it can allow just a lot of flexibility. And it's kind of Nintendo knew what they were doing when they designed and put motion controls in. A lot of other games, Doom, that kind of stuff, when they added that in, that's kind of a nice feature for like hardcore Splatoon players that like it that way. But you can tell Splatoon 2 was made to use that motion control, so stick with it. It's good in the long run, I would say.
I was very stubborn.
You were against it.
I was very stubborn. I was like, I can't, and I would still rack up the kills. I'd still have days where I'd get still have games where I'd get, even 20 kills without using the motion controls, but you just are, you're more accurate. I think for me, I still have a hard time. I end up shooting low because I don't think that
you got to use that. You got to, what is it? X, I think, resets the camera, and you just got to utilize that all the time. You can play however you want, sitting back or forward. If you just change where you are, you just reset that neutral on the camera, and it makes it easy to adjust on the fly.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, it's like old dog, new tricks. I still do a lot on my sticks. There's still a lot going on the sticks for sure. But yeah, if you can get used to motion controls, I mean, if I can do it, I think anybody can do it. So just stick with it. But because I know, well, and I'm sure last weekend a handful of people played it for the first time. Because I know in our community day where we played, there was a lot of people that were like, level 1, like, wait a minute, how come, I'm not gaining levels. I know we're doing custom matches, things like that. But yeah, just stick with the motion controls. It's definitely worth it. So, and then that we can just lead right into Splatfest coming up next weekend. You can go in and pick your T and start leveling that up if you want to get, what are those things even called? I can't remember anymore. The little it's been too long since
they're like the clams or no, is it?
No, it's not even clams.
You earn something at the end if your team went. You earn more, but it's those are it's the scrub gear, I think. But
yeah.
Scrub the gear.
Right.
Yeah.
I just can't remember what they called.
It's been a while. We all had to update Splatoon, but it was fun, and we hadn't played since the last Splatfest pretty much, and that was however long ago.
So Petulian Chassis is very difficult for me to get used to it, but it's something you believe it would help. Then they'll try it out and watch some videos. Also, X puts that camera in default. Gosh, it's gonna help me for sure. So yeah, absolutely. Watch a few videos on it. And just stick with it. You'll get used to it. And so
play some of the single player stuff just to get familiar with the camera if you're not comfortable doing that in a more competitive setting, and it'll help you.
Yeah, and don't forget there's also Salmon Run, which is like a horde mode, if that's something that interests you as well. So, which is also fun. So, okay. With that, let's go ahead.
Wait, Streets of Rage 4. So when you're playing the game, I'll talk about more later, but when you're playing the game, you'll see arcades in the game, and you can just walk up and punch it, or all of them right before you get to the arcade, there's always going to be an enemy that has a taser, and if you use the taser and hit the arcade, what happens is it goes back into a retro style boss fight, and you go back and beat them, and then when you beat them, you come back with a retro looking 8-bit looking or 16-bit looking weapon. So you'll see them throughout the game, and that's just a little Easter egg that you get.
So if you tase the arcade, it takes you into a boss fight right then and there.
Right.
That's cool.
Yeah.
And is your health and all that kind of stuff preserved, or is it?
Yeah, because
continue?
they'll give you 1 life to beat them, and if you don't beat them, it just throws you back into the game where you were with however much health you had.
Have you been playing that on Switch or on Xbox? Or
I beat it on Xbox first, and then played through it on Switch too. Yeah. And actually, fun fact: the Switch version uses the game, the system invite system.
The rarely used Nintendo feature that they added a couple updates ago.
Yeah, so it's used by that, Wargroove, and Divinity Original Sin 2, I think.
Huh. Interesting.
I think that came about for Wargroove, I think.
Yeah, I think so.
All right, well, let's jump on over to our indie conversation.
Here we go!
So I'll kick this off. It's not really an indie, but I played SNK Gal Fighters, and this was a Neo Geo Pocket game, and it's $7.99. It is surprisingly fun. They did an overlay for this, so it looks like you're playing on the Neo Geo Pocket, which is a system I had no experience with whatsoever. I don't even know if I've seen one in the wild, honestly. I'm not even sure I've seen one in the wild. And
when they came,
yeah, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say when they came to America, they were in like those blister cases with like a pack of 6 games, and the 6 games are like random, at GameStops, and I think they had them at maybe some other stores, but at Toys R Us maybe.
Mm.
But yeah, and the overlay you're talking about, it's almost like on the 3DS when you would play a virtual console game and you did the overlay with like the Game Boy or the Game Boy Color, and it looks like that.
Because you had multiple selections, right? You could go stretch it full screen, or you could go with the small overlay to make it look like you were playing on the console, right?
You
Right,
could
yeah.
you could stretch it some, like you could stretch it to be just it was still a 4:9. It wasn't, it wouldn't like go to widescreen. And then
Okay, because sometimes they have like pixel perfect,
right.
and then sometimes they have stretch.
Yeah, this did not have a stretch feature as far as I could tell. I stretched it as wide as it would go, and it was still just a square screen. And I think they do that just to preserve I mean, you're talking about a pretty
For
low...
for a fighting game, you probably don't want it stretched. That would
a very small screen.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm guessing this thing was similar to like a Game Boy Micro or something, but again, I don't know. It may be a little bigger than that, but I don't think it was the size of like a Game Gear.
And it only had an analog.
Nothing was the size of a Game Gear. Had to be big enough to house all those. Did they take double A's, or was it like C cells?
No, it was
double A's, I think.
like 6 double A's, and you got to play for like 10 minutes. So
Yeah.
yeah, good times. But yeah, so SNK Gal Fighters. I mean, it's a very simple fighting game. You don't got any online play or anything like that, but if you want a little, like, if you want a taste of what the Neo Geo Pocket was like, this excites me because I'm like, bring us the Game Boy games, bring us the Game Gear games, and like Neo Geo they've been at the forefront with the Switch on everything. Their retro games were their first. One of the first retro games I bought was their arcade games like Samurai Showdown. And so they're very on top of bringing these classic games back, and they actually reached out to me for this one, and were like, "Hey, do you want to check this out?" I was like, "Yeah, absolutely. Like, I want to see what this was all about." And it honestly feels and reminds me a lot of what's it called, Pocket Rumble, the indie title.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, where it's a very basic. And I remember playing like Mortal Kombat on the Game Boy. It was rough.
Yeah, I remember you talking about that on stream while you were playing this.
Yeah.
But does it play as a 2-button fighter still, or did they add more hotkeys for stuff with as many buttons? Or
2-button fighter? It's just punch and kick. You know, and I think working within the limitations of the system was really the way to do it, because I mean, I played a lot of Mortal Kombat on Game Boy, but it was terrible. It was just like, oh, this is all I have, so I can at least be practicing, kind of. So yeah, but if you were like me and you're just like, yeah, I kind of want to see what this was about, like what this was like, it's a good way to check it out. And especially if you have somebody to play with, I think it would be some fun, on the couch, 2-player multiplayer. Not something I'm going to go back to all the time, but it's a solid game. The controls were very solid. I was very, very impressed by that. Impressed by that.
It was really good, especially back on the Neo Geo Pocket Color. That one of the most popular, I think, best games that they had was SNK versus Capcom.
Oh wow!
On the Neo Geo Pocket Color, and I think this coming out has me excited and hopeful that they could reach a deal to bring that out on the Switch as well.
Did you own one when you were a kid?
Oh yeah.
Oh wow, that's awesome.
Yeah. Very
cool. So you played Streets of Rage 4. We have yet to try it. I really want to jump into it. Give us the lowdown on this on Streets of Rage 4.
Streets of Rage 4, very good. Love the way it looks, and like the combos that you can pull off with the fighters. It just feels really good. It feels a lot like the old. It's kind of like Contra on the DS.
Contra 4?
Contra. It's kind of like that.
So good.
That was like really good. Way 4 did a really good job with that. And
yes.
That's kind of what this is like for Streets of Rage. And the fact that you can play, I haven't done it yet, but 4-player locally or 2-player online. And I played through the whole game online, and then I played through it all by myself as well. But just playing through and going through, and so you start off with the story mode before you can unlock like boss fights and things like that, or you can actually also play online and just do a fight where you're just you fight each other. Just
Oh, really?
Yeah, the throws
Huh.
feel really good. You can go through and change the music to retro music or the new music, and because some of the new music is really good. Some levels I like more than others, um, but yeah, going through and playing, it's cool seeing like the graphics as good as they are. Like seeing one of one of like the old pixelated characters like Skate or somebody playing through as them while in this like other world. It's almost like I don't know. I guess like Who Framed Roger Rabbit almost. It seems jarring, but at the same time pretty awesome. But yeah, it's a lot of fun. I guess uh me playing through this game was, and then after in a post Castle Crashers world, I feel like I'd like it more if I could have like progression with the characters throughout the different
Mm.
modes and things. But other than that, I'm liking it. I liked it a lot, and yeah, it's gorgeous and one of the best indie games. And it's kind of bizarre that Capcom or Sega didn't even publish this game. Like they're just like licensing out their games. They did it with this. Um, they to what is it? .emu, is that what it is?
I'm not
I
sure.
think.
Sure. We'll go with that.
Yeah, and then they also licensed out Shenmue 3, and then same thing with like Bayonetta 2 to
Well,
Nintendo.
in what state does Sega even exist right now? I don't even know where they fall in publishing or development of anything right now.
They own.
They still own their IP, some of their IP, right?
They
I
also
mean,
own Atlas. They own. They
oh, so they're making money then.
yeah, yeah. And the Sonic movie just came. Hello, the Sonic movie.
Yeah, I know the Sonic movie came out, but like, I mean,
Yeah.
Sega has been for a while now putting stuff out on Nintendo, which they never would. I have Console Wars sitting in front of me somewhere. I need to read it. But
Yeah. But then they also, it's like they've been doing a lot of um, smaller like different games that are. I think they also own somebody else that makes like real-time strategy games. I forget who it is, but yeah.
so that's a real success story for filing Chapter 9 bankruptcy, right? Didn't they have to do that after
What
after Dreamcast?
Well, yeah, but then they ended up coming back from it, and
Yeah, that's a success story for filing bankruptcy.
yeah, and but the playing Streets of Rage, I was thinking, what other game would I like to see this happen to of Sega's? And I think obviously you could say Golden Axe, but I would like to see the Kid Chameleon or Chameleon. Well, you're right, that was the name of it, wasn't it?
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah, where you just go through and you have all the different masks. I think that would be a lot of fun. But yeah, that's
Yeah, well, Josh, at least you and I have access to this. We should set up a night we can go play online with Game Pass.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. The price point, Chris, being around like what, 25?
$24.99, yeah. I think it was on sale for 10.
I think it was like 20 bucks the first weekend.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, do you feel like it's enough game to justify that price?
If you're I think if you're a big Streets of Rage fan, like if you just seeing that, like my one of my buddies that we used to play that game growing up, like that in Final Fight. Final Fight we didn't play multiplayer, but we played Streets of Rage. We played Streets of Rage, and he saw that it was on the eShop and just bought it instantly. And he said it was worth every penny just being able to play through it with his kids.
Oh, I love it. Cool. That's great. That's great. All right. Well, let's jump on over to the news. I can't believe we're finally saying this, but EA is going to be bringing a number of games to the Switch before the end of 2020.
That's in quotes. I mean, number of games. It's very executive speak in a from a financial briefing to investors.
The PDF or whatever says multiple Switch titles.
So FIFA 21,
a bare bones version,
like
right?
Burnout Paradise for $50 when it's 15 everywhere else or whatever.
Right.
That's a number of. One game is a number of games. It's a number, so who knows?
Okay, well, let's have a little bit of fun with this, and let's play if EA was really going to go all in on this and wanted to see they actually wanted to make money on the Switch. I'm going to name a couple of games that should be here. Okay?
Yeah, should be here, but to have success with anything you're going to say, most of these are going to be coming from the 360 era, correct?
Or older.
Or older, yes. They need to be priced competitively and not... EA has the money, and you see, I don't remember who I was talking to. I think I was talking to somebody in Discord or something like that in the chat room. All these games that have fallen by the wayside in the eShop and they come back and they're top sellers for 50 cents or $1 or something like that. They're making money doing that because they're getting so much exposure. They're staying at the top. But if EA comes out with any of these games that we're going to mention and they've priced them like they're pricing Paradise, they're going to fall flat on their face. So with that being the preface to all this, let's hear some of the titles you think are going to come.
We're you know what? Let's move it to our talking point where we can, because I actually, as you started talking, I actually had some really killer ideas, but we'll be on this topic for a while. So let's come back to EA for the talking point. Let's talk about Animal Crossing, but not New Horizons, Pocket Camp. According to Polygon, Sensor Tower app analytic website says that it had a total of 7.1 million downloads globally in April, which, I mean, it makes sense. There was free DLC by downloading this app, and I've used almost everything in the game from Pocket Camp on my island. Almost everything.
I think I deleted. I don't know if I have Pocket Camp on my phone anymore. Maybe I need to download it again. I don't know.
Well, okay, I will say this. I think the two coolest items that you get from the Pocket Camp thing are these miniature of two different campers that are customizable. Again, something else that's customizable. What people have been doing in New Horizons is they go to the backside of their island, they put their lighthouse, they turn dog houses backwards and put them down kind of by the lighthouse, and then will make
it look like a miniature, and
it's forced perspective, and they put those little campers down there, and it looks like if you're a child of the 80s or 90s, you'll know what micro machines are, and it kind of looks like a micro machine set. Honestly, it looks pretty rad. Like, I'm gonna have a video coming out. I'm gonna do it on one of my spot on my island just so I can showcase it, but it's pretty cool. So players spent, you're gonna believe this, $7.9 million in April, beating out its previous best month in spending at its launch, which was 7.8 million. So New Horizons, because I guarantee there was people that were like, I can't find the Switch. I need to get I want to be in the conversation somehow. I'll play Pocket Camp. I'm not going to go buy a 3DS or a 2DS right now. Pocket Camp's here on mobile. $7.9 million. That's wild. That's so crazy. Yeah. That's so crazy. So, but I mean, overall, that game has improved. It's a little bit more fun. It's not so just like fetch quest all the time. They listened to the community, and they did a bunch of quality of life things, because it was the same kind of thing. Okay, let me catch this person a fish, and then let me go back to where they were. Then let me have another conversation with them. Then let me
go
give
shake
it to
a tree.
him. Yeah, they were like, you know what? Let's let him mail everything, and so he'll just be like, you've got everything in your pockets that everybody wants. I'm gonna go deliver it for you. You're like, I like you. Go ahead. You didn't make it into New Horizon. I can't even remember his name, but he was like the mailman, and so.
Oh, well, so I mean, that kind of wraps up a lot of the Pocket Camp stuff. I didn't put this in the notes, but did everyone do the Mayday Rover Maze thing?
I did.
No, I didn't.
You haven't? I did it. I mean, what'd you think of it, Josh?
I loved it. I loved that it was like something entirely new to Animal Crossing. And it also had a very Zelda-esque feel to it, where it was like you had to move in a certain way. And I believe one of the biggest takeaways from it is that they wanted to show people the potential of what you could create on your island to have your friends come over and do, little mini games.
Yeah,
and
I mean,
like
because it's all doable minus the rock placements.
Correct.
It's all doable. So I mean, potentially, I guess something could come down the line where you get an island editor, hopefully, just because I don't want to go down a rant again, but the terraforming is so frustrating sometimes in this game. But like island editor, like Wheatbread said last week, where you place stuff in your house and you can just go down on the D-pad and you can move stuff around. That's a game changer. And if you could do that outside or with terraforming, that would be a lot more enjoyable and quality of life stuff. But yeah, the rover stuff, I did think it was fun. I beat it without having to reset, but I hadn't optimized my run through of the maze. So I actually, after I talked to Rover, I reset the island with the rescue app, and then made sure I finished with enough fruit to break all 3 rocks and get the bell vouchers that were locked behind the rocks. So I had fun with it. I thought I kind of hope for more of that kind of stuff. I think that'd be fun.
Yeah, the other difference too is that they gave you an axe that had 1 hit left on it. So if you wanted to do that with your friends, you're gonna be like, okay, let me count, So, but maybe there'll be updates. Maybe that'll be something that, so that we can gamify things a little bit more.
Yeah.
Who knows?
That, and I dug up all the flowers and all the bushes, and I was going to take them back with me, and then they take it all from you.
Yep, they do.
I was like, well, what a waste of time that I did.
And there's this quality of life video going around that this person made. It was like a fake update for the game, and it looked like some of the things they offered was like you could see how many items were in your pocket when you pick something up. It would say like 1 of 40, 2 of 40, 3 of 40, right? Things like that just above your head. And I believe it would also show in this little update that was made, it's all fan made, if, how many hits were left on your...
Yeah, just I just want a meter. I don't even need to know how many hits. Just show me a visual meter.
But if we had something like that, then you'd be like, oh, this one's getting low. I'm going to save it for my maze or whatever. And the other thing you could do, because you said rocks wouldn't be available there, which, I mean, yeah, of course, but the trees work semi-similar depending on if you give them an axe or not to be able to chop things down. Right. So you can't get them as close, though. You can't stack 3 trees like those rocks. It would have to be a little bit different. So there is that. But yeah, I thought that maze thing was great. I really enjoyed it. It was good seeing Rover. And I got a quick little Animal Crossing story today. I built my 10th spot. For anybody that doesn't know, you can have 10 animals, 10 residents. So you just have to sell 1 more spot, and then you can have all 10 of them. And so I did that, and then I started taking trips to islands because I wanted to try to find Raymond. He's the most sought after character in Animal Crossing New Horizons right now. He's like the smug cat with 2 different colored eyes and glasses.
Is this the character that somebody bought for their girlfriend for like 500 Nook tickets or whatever? Is that
probably? Yeah, probably. Yeah, and Nintendo Guru
to 1,000.
What? Say that again?
No, he can go for as many as 1,000 if people are like.
Well, what are people doing with these Nook
quote,
tickets?
bidding on them? Nook tickets seem to be like the most valuable currency you can get right now.
But they only stack to 10, and it's I don't get it.
Yeah.
So I went to island trying to find him. My second island had Rod, and Rod was the character that I talked to the most in New Leaf. He was my neighbor that was always like, he's the only one I would talk to. He would be like, hey, I'm out here working my pecs. What are you doing? Like he would always just be telling me about how he was lifting weights and stuff. And so I was like, is that Rod? And the chat was like, you could talk to him once before he moves in. And I was like, I've already got Rolled, he's still my neighbor in the GameCube game. He's still there. And Rod is still my every time he would try to move in New Leaf, I was like, no, you're staying put, buddy. And so I had to the gang's getting back together, the band's getting back together. Rod's moving in, so I'm gonna have to try to kick somebody else out in order to go back on the hunt for Raymond.
So question for you. I don't know who knows if I pissed off one of my residents, but I was trying to pick one of my residents that I wanted to kick off. So I went and talked to Isabel because I thought that's how you did it.
Mm-hmm.
She's like, do you have a problem with the resident? I'm like, yeah, I don't like Clyde, I think is who I picked. And I was like, I don't like the way he talks. And she's like, okay, I'll talk to him. And then that's all she says. And I'm like, all right, I don't like the way he dresses. And she's like, oh, okay, I'll talk to him. So I don't know if he's going to confront me somewhere on the island in the next couple of days and be like, what's up? Or if he's just going to pack up his bags and try to leave. But I was, what the red dog Cherry, I think is that what? Yeah. So is it she or he? I don't even know.
She, I believe.
She. Okay. She was in my campsite and I talked to her. I actually quit out of my game like 3 times because I messed it up the first time where she offered to move in. She's like, oh, I'll go talk to resident services. And then they choose who's going to move off your island, which I didn't like. And so the first time I was like, no, I don't want, because it was Rodeo is who they wanted to leave. And I guess reading an article later on in that night, I was like, they're like, oh yeah, the cows and bulls and some other animals are like rare. I'm like, well, I had Patty and Rodeo and now they're gone out of my island. So whatever. I don't know anything about this game, but I don't know. Patty wanted to go be a star somewhere else, so I let her go spread her wings, and Tom Nook decided to kick Rodeo off my island for Cherry. So I don't know what I'm doing. But so the first time I said no, so then I had to go back and reset, and then I had to play a game of chance to get this character to move in, which I had to reset like 2 times, and it finally went back to just pick a color of a card as opposed to picking a suit. And so that was a little bit easier. So I have her moving in, I think tomorrow or something like that. But
nice.
Yeah, like I don't enjoy how like locked into this stuff you are. And I thought Isabel was the key to kicking people off your island. And maybe I'll have to go talk to Mel because I think she seems to be the queen of scaring people off her island if she doesn't like them. She tells those nerds to get lost, in her own words. There.
Yeah, no, that's that everyone thought that you just went and talked to her to get them off your island, but it's so like let's say Josh created a t-shirt and it had like the middle finger, and he just walks around wearing this shirt with the middle finger all the time, and then he moves into your town and you don't want your kid to see that, so you got to go talk to Isabel and say I don't like what he's wearing, and then he'll get rid of the clothes. Or if Josh gave him like a catchphrase that would upset you, or
like what my characters call me, like what they all call me.
Yeah, so then you can get her to get rid of the catchphrase. But yeah.
And chat is asking, Destinot's asking, is there a benefit to not having a certain character?
These are just like waifus, right? Like that's kind of all it is.
No, there's more to it than that. They all have different personalities, and so not only are they like a certain, like one could be a jock, but then he also might be correct me if I'm wrong, I believe I can look it up here, but like, you know, like Raymond is like he's very smug, right?
Yeah, he's smug, yeah.
And so that's one of the things that like that people are drawn to. Let me see if I can find the
They've also got like lazy is one, so you can have like the lazy people arguing with the buff people.
Oh, I see. Yeah. And so I don't know. I just
one of my villagers was upset at one of the other ones for calling her something. So yeah, they get in fights with each other, I guess.
Yeah.
So you have like you have
that sounds like so it's only for role playing. I get it.
Yeah.
But they're hilarious. You'll see certain, you know, like Tammy, she will just lose it on people. She's always just piping mad, like like Tia's like
Tammy's the one that pissed off somebody else. I think I have Tammy and Tia, and
yeah. So yeah, you've got it. There's quite and some people want to have one of each personality, right? So you've got cranky, peppy, sisterly, lazy, normal, snooty, and it just goes on and on. Jock.
I think you got a YouTube video in the works here, Josh.
Yeah, I think so too. So yeah, that's the reason for collecting different. Some people like the way they look. Some are harder to come by. You know I was watching a streamer, and she had gone through 900 Nook Miles tickets trying to find like Julie or Judy or something.
So that's
like that.
why this whole thing is a currency, is because they want to kick people off their islands and then go to mystery islands and try to recruit people.
Yeah, it's like we were talking about earlier. It's like shiny hunting for Pokemon. It's kind of like the same thing where you're looking for, if you don't want to, because right now like Animal Crossing Amiibo cards, if you want certain characters, they're like over $100 for one character.
Well, and even if you want just a random six draw, like they're selling for like $35 a sealed pack right now. Like,
yeah. Mm-hmm.
What those retail for originally, Josh, when you picked up all these
$6?
$5 or $6.
Yeah. And I have a lot. I actually want to find out if there's a way to like trade with people, because I have a lot of doubles. So
I'm sure we'll have to talk to like Splicestream or something like that. But like the NFC like modding community for Smash, I'm sure there's like my Breath of the Wild amiibo cards that I just bought that have all the that were made in China or whatever, that just have all a blank NFC chip in it that they programmed to be something. I'm sure there's people selling full Animal Crossing cards that are just the blank NFC chip that they programmed to be what they want it by spoofing it in their computer.
Well, yeah, and then not only that, but then they print them, and then they look like the original Amiibo card, but they're the small little ones that you got. And like if you go to Etsy, you can order them. And then
is there something that taints it when it's scanned? Because I saw when I was just Googling this stuff, it was like unscanned Amiibo cards. Is there some kind of ownership that comes to it when you scan it the first time?
Unscanned? No, they have like blank cards. And then
no. Like these are like the original, like the official Nintendo ones. They were selling them as like never scanned official cards, not the made up ones. So I don't know if there's some kind of ownership.
It might be something to do with New Leaf, because I think New Leaf would do something with the cards. Either New Leaf or what was the other one? The Amiibo Festival.
Yeah, well, that was. Did anybody play that?
Yes.
I know a lot of people bought it when it was like.
I bought it when it was like $5. I have it down there. I've never put it in my Wii U, so I don't know. We've completely derailed the news, but it's fun. We're talking about AC again.
Yep. Yeah, and in a positive light. And I mean, and there's 400 some animals, right? Yeah. And there's YouTube video after YouTube video of different top 10s, why this is the best, why this isn't the best, some like.
But do you want to have the top 10? Like if everyone goes out and gets the top 10, then everyone's island's the same. Like, do you really want that? Like,
no. For me, it was getting Rod today was like that was awesome, because it was like nostalgia. I was like, oh my gosh, it was the silliest thing, but I'm like, oh, I'm getting an old friend back on my island. He'll be back pumping iron tomorrow, like.
Do you still have Axel on your island?
Oh heck yeah, dude.
So maybe he and him can go. Can go on.
And Roll's a bodybuilder
together.
Too. I gotta change my island to Bro Island, because they're all just gonna be broing it up. I gotta give them all muscle suits like Roll.
I gave Axel a muscle suit, and he's continued to wear it the entire time. I saw a clip on Twitter of somebody that gave one of their residents an outfit, and they put it on. They're like, "Oh, I like it," and then they turn around to walk away.
They immediately change.
Change back. And then the other thing as well, I think a good way to make a character leave is, I think the title of the clip was like, Article 4 of the Geneva Convention can be broken in Animal Crossing. They just have cruel and unusual punishment of a prisoner of war, and they put one of their villagers inside fencing with like the sharpened spike wooden post fencing, like it's a like a Vietnam POW camp. And they just have this villager just chained up inside this cage, and they're just letting them be grumpy in there until they probably, I guess, want to leave.
So, okay, I can't believe we're going on and on this. This is crazy. But I did an Animal Crossing cribs. If you guys, I guess I should announce this too. I do cribs where I go and visit islands, get inspiration, hear from people. Today, the island I went to, I have a feeling the person that I went to go visit, I don't think they were in the United States because there was a delay when we were talking. It was like talking to somebody overseas almost. And their town was named after an Italian word for wave. So I was like, I didn't ask where they're from. They said they were over the age of 18 just because I don't know about YouTube's policies to make sure that it, so, but they sounded very young. They have Roscoe, I believe, completely blocked off. Like he can't, if he leaves his house, he's stuck on the beach. It's all the more he can. I mean, they teleport, obviously.
Is it to prevent other people from talking to them?
I think so. I think he wants. Yeah, he wants him gone. He wants him gone. So.
Oh, he wants him gone. Because some people will block off villagers so that if they open their island for trading or whatever, that they can't. Because that was one of the stipulations on when I was doing turnip exchange. It's like, don't talk to this villager, she's my favorite, or something like that. So they don't want other people that are coming to their island to talk to their villagers.
Yeah, and I've got to look this up, and I'll make a video tomorrow about it. But I guess you can best friend certain animals and things like that. But here's what was interesting is I had Winnie come up to me and say, "Hey, I want to move," and I was like, "Okay, that's fine." Like. It was kind of weird. I didn't really want to see any of them go, but I was like, well, I want to get some of the characters that I would love to see Rod. I would love to see this Raymond, this cat. And so she, at the end of the day, I went to go see her again before she was going to pack up the next day. And she was like, thanks for checking in on me so many times today. And I was like, oh. And then she was like, now that I think about it, I am getting pretty emotional. And I was like, oh my gosh. Well, so she moved. Right, I went and saw her with her boxes and said our goodbyes. She moved, and then the next day there was a sold sign, or there was one day where it was empty, and then the next day there was a sold sign, and I was like, wait a minute, I didn't go to an island.
You didn't approve this.
I didn't scan anybody in, and Winnie from Pitter Pat, which I can't remember whose island that is. I think it's Jay Harley's, but I'm not positive.
I think it is Jay Harley's. Yeah.
Yeah. All of a sudden, Winnie's moved in. And I was like, well, I didn't want, like, I wanted to kind of pick who was going to be coming next. I didn't. So I'm bringing this up because if you're in the same situation, make sure you're using your Nook miles and go into those. The way the process works is you have to have an empty spot to have critters.
Villagers show up on
exactly
on Mr. X.
To have villagers on those other islands. So just keep that in mind that way. Because now that I have Rod showing up to my one empty spot.
You're gonna have to run somebody else out of town.
Yeah, and I have a few that I'm like, I'll be okay if they go. And some of them, like the ones that I've been sending off, I have their Amiibo cards, so I could bring them back if I wanted to. So that's an added bonus for me. But okay, last bit of the news, and then we'll talk about EA here. But Mortal Kombat 11 Aftermath expansion announced today. It's coming out May 26th. Look, if you're a Switch owner, I'm sorry to break this to you, but you're going to have to buy another SD card. It doesn't matter how big yours is right now. You're gonna need another one.
Yeah, I'm ready to buy MK11 on my PlayStation, I think, and just delete MK11 off my Switch, just because the update, just regular like balance patch updates, take hours on a hardline connection on my Switch, and they're massive. I don't even know how much space on my 400 gig card it's taking up right now, but yes. But free content is coming out for everybody, so this will add to the update for a Switch owner. But new stages are coming. I think maybe three were mentioned in the article I read. Stage fatalities are coming back, so that'll be fun. And I think this is going down a road. I think that's going to bring more expansion for free coming soon. Is friendships are coming back, so you'll be able to. I think the one that was featured was like a barbecue with somebody. I don't know what it was.
Oh, Scorpion throws his rope with the spike on the end. He says, "Get over here!" And it was a teddy bear. He was hugging the teddy bear.
And I think Sub-Zero has like a little bike that is a mobile ice cream shop, and he freezes a stick and makes you an ice cone.
Oh, I love it.
Nice. And then I think one was like all balloons and multicolored that spelled out friendship, or is that maybe the banner for friendship? I don't even know.
Yeah, it's the banner for friendship. Yeah.
And then paid content is coming. I think NetherRealm hasn't announced an official price, but I think some people found it listed on the PlayStation Store for like, I think 40 is what they're saying.
It's up on the eShop right now. Yeah.
Is it 40?
$39.99.
Yeah, $39.99. So there's going to be new story expansion, which I don't know if I think they said this has never been done before on Mortal Kombat, like story mode.
Yeah, they've only done characters. Same thing with Injustice. They've only done characters too.
And then 3 new playable characters: Fujin, Shiva, and the new fan service one is RoboCop is coming.
Did you by chance see the article that got posted in the Discord today? That was like, Shiva, RoboCop, and then some kid from Malcolm in the Middle was the other.
Oh yeah.
It's just totally random. I loved it. Anyway, continue.
3 new character skin packs. So I don't know what that's all going to entail, but I'm sure there's certain characters that'll have different skins that you can.
So this, I believe, was a pre-order bonus from what I saw when I watched the trailer today, and it looked like Scorpion and Sub-Zero, and then it looked like some other, I don't know who the other character is, but she looks like she is like an ice character also, and it looked like they had 3 alternate costumes, but I believe it said it was tied to like a pre-order.
To the pre-order.
I think.
Maybe this is the pre-order exclusive. This says exclusive thanks a million Johnny Cage character skin, so maybe that's it. Because that was an added thing that I saw in the article, so who knows. But I think the article that I also read said there's potentially coming to the Americas in June going to be a Aftermath physical release, like a whole package together. So if you want to wait for that, I guess you could do that, but that'll be probably shortly, a couple days after the initial release of Aftermath, sometime in June.
You can also order it or buy it now on the eShop for $60, and it's got like the gold. It's basically the Ultimate Edition of Mortal Kombat 11 with all the new stuff.
That's cool. That's a good bundle then.
The question is, what size card will this thing have?
It'll still be an 8 gig card, and you're gonna have to download. I mean, the initial setup of this game was like 16 gigs that you had to download.
It's massive. It's no joke. Like every time I look at it, I'm like, oh, I need to play this game to justify having it on here. But then I know when I go to play it and I have it deleted, I'm gonna be like, I can't even play it. It's gonna be forever to re-download everything.
Yeah. And I mean, it plays just fine. I have no problem playing it. I've probably played through about halfway through the story, and I've enjoyed it, and I want to finish it. The biggest thing is if you go, I forget what the online portion of it is, and I think that's what takes up a decent chunk of this as well, is you really see the muddiness of it all, the pixelation of it, and it's just not as. So it plays just fine. It doesn't look as sharp. I would say this is a great thing to have if this is your only system, but like me having all the systems, I'm really contemplating getting it somewhere else just to be able to play it, because it does look so much better somewhere else.
No, I get it. All right, Splatfest coming this weekend. We already mentioned it. Make sure you go sign up and get your bonus points or whatever those things are called that you can scrub later. Let's talk about EA and the games they should be bringing to Switch. All right, so here's my idea. If EA wants to do this right, they need to, one, what they're doing, Burnout, don't release that game physically for $50. right? Because that's why they're selling it digitally for $50. Just do it digitally for $20. Or get a handful of games and offer a subscription like they did on the Xbox. And I think it's on the PlayStation now.
It's still they at least have timed exclusivity, I think, still contract with Microsoft. But better yet, like when you just mentioned that, they should have parity between the two, and they would sell. Do you know how many more subscriptions they would sell if I could get bang for my buck by buying it? I believe, is it still called EA Access?
Mm-hmm.
Chris, do you know?
I believe so.
Yeah.
Is that what it's called? They would get so much bang. I would maybe think about buying it. I know I subscribed to it for 1 month, or I think it ended up making Battlefield or Battlefront cheaper.
Mm-hmm.
I subscribed to EA Access for the 1 month that right after the Battlefront 2 beta was ending, and you got a discount and you got a bonus for pre-ordering Battlefront after the debacle of their beta and the fallout from microtransactions. But I got a better deal by paying the $15 for that month or whatever it was.
$5.
$5 with the discount that I got by being an EA Access member, buying that and then canceling it. Like I saved like $5 or $10 by doing that. But they would get a lot more retention if I could download Unraveled and whatever other games they choose to bring to this platform with Switch, if I could have it on both systems, and they could maybe make cross save happen or something. And there's also bonuses for EA Origin on PC that I could take advantage of. So there would be a lot more potential there, and make me want to do that if they could come up with that subscription.
I think the other way that they dominate this market is they lean into the nostalgia that a lot of Nintendo fans have, right? Sega has done this. They released Sonic Mania, right? Put out Madden collection that has the Super Nintendo game, that has the 64 game, that has a GameCube game. Even if they have to take the names off the players because maybe they don't have the license to use their names anymore, but still give us those graphics. I mean, to me, I would love to see like I would go and buy Madden on the Switch before I would go buy it on another system if I could see if in play, because I think the Sega Genesis, do you guys remember? But I think the Sega Genesis Madden was like kind of the like everybody loved that game. If I remember correctly, it was kind of a big deal for the time.
Seemed to be more popular than the SNES version.
Yeah. So I mean, if there was some of these older
Is
games,
that like Madden 94 maybe? Something like that?
Something like that, yeah. And I mean, EA has a very vast library of titles, right? Now I'm sure
that they never leaned into ever, really.
Yeah, exactly. And here's the other thing. EA, you have the rights to Star Wars. Figure out how to get the GameCube games on the Switch. Figure it out. Figure out how to get Rogue Squadron and
go get Rogue Squadron 2. It's made.
3.
It's made.
Yeah.
3. Yeah, that's what I meant. 3,
Yeah.
not Rogue Leader, but Rogue Squadron 3 for Wii is
4.
made.
It's 4, right? Because the 64 was the first one, and then there's 2 on the GameCube, so it'd actually be the 4th game.
What's the third one? Because Rogue Leader was a launch. Was that a launch title?
Yeah, and I think it's
that's Rogue Squadron 2. What's Rogue Squadron 3?
It may be just. I think it's just called that. I don't. But it's the one where you could get out and you'd play as Wedge. You could get out of and walk around, which was not a great feature.
Yeah, but Rogue Squadron on Wii is made. It's sitting on a dev kit on the
in an old storage unit from Factor 5 or one of their computers
Factor
or
5
hard drives.
That dev, his daughter gets to play it, and she's the only one. If you're wondering, I forget what the episode is, but they had
like 197.
Nintendo voice chat like 190 something. Yeah, they had the developers on and they talked about it. So it was she's the only person in the world that didn't make it that gets to play it, but it's there. Go give those guys money and get it.
And if you can't get that working, I just saw recently, I was like a Spawnwave video popped up about Battlefront, the old Battlefront, like the old Battlefront 2 had some kind of online update done to the Steam version, apparently.
As I say, I've almost bought Battlefront 1 and 2 Classic like multiple times this week because they stopped being on sale tomorrow. But
yeah, and I again, I didn't see the article, or I wasn't able to watch the whole video, but that would be a great title to get on to the Switch. Because the other one, I'm sure it would have a hard time running the actual Battlefront and Battlefront 2. But those older titles, and I mean, look, the Jedi Academy and stuff, I mean, yeah, some of it doesn't age all that well, but at least it would give us more multiplayer shooters. That is an area that is lacking on the Switch, and a known IP like Star Wars, I mean, people would be all about it.
People are still buying KOTOR and KOTOR 1 on backwards compatibility Xbox right now. So like, if those games can obviously run on Switch, get those over there. I mean, they are squandering their Star Wars license.
Yeah, and the list goes on and on. Mass Effect, Dead Space. There's so many. The Battlefield series, Battlefront. I'm sorry, Battlefield, and then Battlefield Bad Company, right? Those are games that they could bring back. Even in chat today, Britt was saying some of the games she beat. One of them was what is that game? You played as two different mercenaries that had like hockey masks and like the full army of two, that old series. Like there's so many games that they could dig into and bring.
Mercenaries too. Does EA own Mercenaries?
I feel like
it
was
the actual.
I feel like
the old, like the fictional North Korea original Xbox game.
Mercenaries and Mercenaries 2.
Yeah, is that EA or is that somebody else?
Yeah, because EA bought them and then shut them down after they made those.
So sad, so sad. Chris, what do you think?
Is NCAA coming back? I think it's supposed to be, but because I think they settled lawsuits when it comes to NCAA players being able to profit off their likeness. So I think NCAA will eventually come back. So when they do, like, find a way to make that engine work. Like, I don't know.
Yeah. Or NBA Jam.
Yep.
Plants vs. Zombies.
Mm-hmm.
Plants vs. Zombies 2. That would be good, even if you just made it so it was like a touchscreen game.
A lot of the PopCap games, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, they own. That's where they make their money now.
And that Plants vs. Zombies Garden Warfare games. They're kind of like they would be like a good fit for like my kids keep asking when those games are coming to the Switch, and I have to keep telling them the history of Sony or of EA and Nintendo and everything, how it went wrong with the Wii U, and ever since then we all went downhill. And they just look at me with a blank face and they say, so it's not coming? No, it's not coming. So hopefully that would come. You know what? I think it's interesting. They're going to release this Burnout at $50. And then it'll be interesting to see if it even makes it into the top 30 like best-selling games on the eShop.
It won't.
Here's another one, guys, that I don't think anybody has thought about because nobody remembers that it was on the 360. But the first Titanfall could be playable on the Switch. It is a 360 title. It was
and that exclusivity contract is long up because I think it's on PC.
The second game I think came out everywhere.
The second game went across everything, but like I don't think Microsoft owns in perpetuity the exclusivity contract.
They never came to anything else.
So maybe they do.
But it would fill the Call of Duty void because those are all ex Call of Duty devs, or a lot of them, and that multiplayer was a blast. It was so great.
I love that game.
So great. Like, so there's, and then of course, I mean, Apex is coming to mobile, right? That's EA, yes? Yeah.
That's the same people.
Yeah, they need to do that.
Yeah, it's Respawn, right? So,
Yep.
I mean, and again, I mean, look, we're just dudes with microphones, right? It's not like we but there's certain things that seem
just copy and paste it, you know.
yeah, right. Like it's that easy. But I mean, if you've got Fortnite and you've got Call of Duty on mobile, right? And I believe Apex has said they're coming to mobile. The Switch is essentially a mobile tablet. So I think, and I don't know what Apex runs in, what kind of engine and how scalable it is, but I know that Unreal is very scalable. So
Respawn was adamant when they did stuff, and Titanfall 1, EA purchased Respawn after Titanfall 1, so they were independent, I think, when they did that. But they published, it was just a partnership. That EA didn't own Respawn at the time, but they published it. But I know Vince Impella was adamant when EA purchased them that he wasn't going to play ball with Frostbite, and they were going to continue using, I don't know what end. I think they used
Unreal for Star Wars. I don't know about Apex.
Yeah, so I mean, Unreal scales really well. So hopefully, and Vince Impella is in charge of more stuff at EA now. So they gave him the keys, I think, to 2 or 3 other projects to like be a creative director on and oversee the teams. So you never know.
Yeah,
It uses the Source engine, Apex Legends. So.
And again, the Burnout series, like, bring those older games back at $5, $10.
Yeah, they need to stop pricing them crazy high.
Just do digital copies of these things and just let them sit in the wild. Like, you know how many hours I would spend just doing the crash mode in Burnout 4?
3.
Or 3 takedown, right? Yeah. Like, it was so fun. It was so fun.
Yeah, just trying to rack up $10 million worth of damage or whatever.
Yeah. So, I don't know, Chris. I want to throw it your way. And what do you think? What do you think EA should do?
I think the EA Access would work if they had more than 6 games on the system.
Mm-hmm.
If you could log on and load up all the old Road Rash games from the from the Genesis.
That's part of the reason why I bought the Genesis. That's part of the reason why I bought Genesis Mini was for Road Rash.
Wow, dude, you're blowing my mind right now. I would be all over it.
If they had the vault went back further than just 360, and they released a bunch of the old games and stuff like that. And the other one was what's the other game that they had? Poltergeist on the Sega Genesis, where you had to play as a ghost. This was your old house. You didn't want anyone moving into it, so you were a ghost. You'd have to turn on the faucet while people were around it, and then do all sorts of stuff like that. And I can't remember if EA did Zombies Ate My Neighbor, or if that was someone else.
I'll check it real quick. I was looking at Road Rash 64. That was THQ that published that one.
Okay.
Zombies Ate My Neighbors.
Yeah, I think that was a LucasArts jam.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
But even just any of the old EA games like SimCity on Super NES and things like that.
It's published by Konami.
In Soviet Strike, they could bring back all those old games, and I would like all the old EA games. But
really, what we're saying is that they should follow what Neo Geo has been doing, and just start
and hamster with all those old arcade games. But it would just be they could do an emulator of sorts. Sega does it too with they're bringing out all their old classics, and it's just it's perfect. It's exactly how they were on the arcade or Super NES or Sega Genesis.
Yep.
And they should do the same thing.
Yeah, well, Sega has the Sega Collection on the Switch. You're looking at 30 some odd games, right? Get Madden, get the hockey games. Do you guys know how much fun Knockout Kings and those boxing games from back in the day? Those things were a blast. They were so great. They were so great. And I mean, even UFC on the 360 is a decent fighting game if you want to learn all the mechanics.
It's a very complex game, but yeah, I remember playing it back when it first came out, and they've done like 4 or 5 versions of that now.
Yeah.
They've iterated on it.
Yeah, and it's one of those. Go ahead.
All right. Well, when Acclaim and Midway went under, EA bought the rights to NBA Jam and NFL Blitz, so they should, they can bring out like the new ones of those. I remember they even released one back on the Wii, so it's like back on the Wii and the 360, PS3 back in like those days. So if they did the same thing and were released one now, it would do better than all of the non-existent basketball games they're releasing these days.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, the NFL Street, NBA Street, all that stuff too. Those were really fun. Like just So they, I mean, again, it is a vast library of games. And
did EA do Def Jam Battle for New York, the fighting game?
Yeah.
Was that EA?
Well, they published it in AKI.
Because that was like a cult classic that a lot of people played. That was that original Xbox.
Yeah.
And PlayStation 2?
And GameCube, yeah.
And GameCube, yeah. It's like, and then like I was looking through Peggle 1 and Peggle 2. I play that on Xbox, and like that's a good, fun puzzle game that would be perfect for Switch.
And that's PopCap, right?
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, it's so strange. It's just so strange. It's almost like you've got to wonder if there was like bad blood between EA and Nintendo after the Wii U, because you had a lot of their games. You had Mass Effect was over there, and I believe Madden was over there and stuff. And they were probably like they may have lost big time money on some of those titles.
Well, and they were just so far behind when it came to the development cycle that they didn't want to jump on the train, that they were then too far behind to try to get in. But now we're 3 years in,
right?
Like they've watched that the rise of Switch that it's had with, and the proof is in the pudding with, and when it comes to like retro, people have bought stuff. I bought Aladdin and Lion King. Yeah. Like, I mean, there's all sorts of stuff. Nostalgia is playing hard on this machine, and EA could take advantage of that, and they've chosen not to. Because I think the Battlefront games, the OG Xbox ones, I think those would sell. But like, I'm gonna buy Episode 1 Racer when it comes out. So I mean, that's where they're gonna maybe see some return of money, but they will not see the return when it comes to Paradise. I just think that is a bad monetary price point that they set.
Yeah, they should have gone with the older one with no like, just forget the online aspect of it, and just, you know. And I mean, we haven't even mentioned like the Need for Speed series, like Need for Speed Underground 2. That one was. I mean, you see, like, these are games that we spent hours and hours and hours with that were just, they were top notch.
If you can make original Xbox games look that much better, and especially like a driving game like that, I don't think it would age poorly. I mean, I don't know. Maybe it would. I don't know. But like that, I think that's some of the criticism for like Jedi Knight, is that it doesn't age well. But there's some of these games I think that would do fine.
Yeah.
And Need for Speed Underground 2. Yeah. That played heavily into like Fast and Furious, and they took it. They rode that correctly when it came to how they tied in with just people being able to kind of live out the movie without having any kind of official tie-in. And then even since then, I think they have the tie-in with Fast and Furious, so they could do that if they want. They could even update it probably and play even more into it, and put the Pontiac and the Skyline and all that kind of stuff in there. Even
Destinot saying that needs a re-release. So, Chris, any final thoughts?
SSX and SSX Tricky.
Oh, yep.
God,
that would be good.
Wow. Yeah. What are the executives at EA doing? What are they doing?
They're like listening to their investors going, hey, why don't we have these games out on the Switch? What's going on? They're like, we have a number of games coming out. We have a number of games.
A number of games.
Tessa says, I just want Brooke Burke in HD. All right, let's wrap this thing up here. Okay. Crawler, where can people find you?
You guys can find me hanging out in the Discord, n64josh.com/discord. Yeah, we'll look for, I guess, Josh and I'll get maybe a playthrough of Streets of Rage 4 coming at you sometime soon. That'll be fun. There is more audio equipment coming on the way, so hopefully I will get my stream up and going here sometime soon. So Nightcrawler, twitch.tv/Nightcrawler724, Nightcrawler's without the E.
It's been 2 years of, I'm going to start streaming more this week.
Yeah.
I'm going to start streaming more this week.
Yeah, he's coming at you.
Yeah.
Coming at you.
Like a slug. Chris, where can we find you?
You can find me Super Nintendad on Twitter, pretty much. I just recorded another episode of Nintendo Entertainment Show, so that'll be back up on Apple, wherever you get a podcast.
Is that solo? Are you by yourself, or are you doing it with somebody?
No, I did it with a couple of friends. So
very cool. Very cool. Awesome. Glad to hear that. Guys, you can follow me everywhere at N64Josh. TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat. All the places.
Farmers only. Yeah.
Farmers only. OnlyFans. Yeah, all the places. Stream schedule. That's going to be getting updated very soon. We got Mario Kart nights happening Mondays and Fridays. This last Monday was Star Wars Day, so I ended up watching a Star Wars movie. But this Friday, we did it last. I mean, it's so fun. It's so fun. We have so many new faces. Guys, especially during this time, if you're struggling being alone, come and hang out. We get into voice chat. We kind of talk trash to each other. Everybody just... last week was funny because it was like... there was a bunch of ladies that joined, but none of them jumped into voice chat, but they were still talking trash from the Twitch chat.
From Twitch chat.
Yeah. Yeah, they were still dishing it out pretty good. So everybody was having just a really good time, and it was just a really good time to connect with people, hear people's just to hear other people's voices, and feel like you're not so isolated. So if you're in that position, you've got Mario Kart, come and join us. It's a lot of fun. I do have a Mario Kart song in the works. I posted a little bit of that on the socials today. Patuli, she says you better believe it. LOL. You better believe it. Yeah, they were.
You better have a sound clip of her in that Mario Kart song then.
Yeah, no.
You just gotta dub that in somewhere.
Exactly. Bye guys, we love you.
Coming for those cheeks.
Oh my gosh, dude.
Cheeks be weak.
Oh my gosh.